Inception, 2010. 15 mind-blowing facts explained. Released in 2010, Christopher Nolan's Inception didn't just break the box office. It broke our collective understanding of reality. While most sci-fi movies rely on aliens or futuristic wars, Inception went inward.
I'm more careful and we're gonna be fine.
This was not a part of the plan! He's dying, for God's sake!
Don't do that! Don't do that!
Exploring the infinite architecture of the human subconscious. It is a film that demands multiple viewings, not just to understand the plot, but to catch the incredible level of detail hidden in every frame. Nolan is famous for his practical first filmmaking, meaning most of the mind-bending visuals you saw weren't CGI. They were real, massive engineering feats. From the physics of dreaming to the mathematical secrets hidden in the soundtrack, Inception is a puzzle box designed by a genius. Today, we are peeling back the layers of the dream to reveal 15 secrets that will make you look at this masterpiece in a completely new light. Grab your totem, because things are about to get deep. Number 15. The no CGI rotating hallway. One of the most iconic scenes in cinema history is the zero-gravity fight in the hotel hallway. While most directors would have used green screens and wires, Christopher Nolan insisted on realism. The production team built a massive 100-foot-long rotating hallway that could spin 360 degrees. It was suspended on 8 giant rings and powered by electric motors. Joseph Gordon-Levitt had to spend weeks training to move inside this giant hamster wheel. He had to learn how to fight while the floor was constantly becoming the ceiling. The camera was bolted to the floor of the rig, which created the illusion that the room was stable while the actors were being thrown around by gravity. This physical commitment is why the scene feels so visceral and disorienting. Your brain recognizes that the physics, although strange, are actually happening in real time. Number 14. The secret in the names.
When we're asleep, our mind can do almost anything.
Such as?
Well, imagine you're...
Nolan is a writer who loves layers, and the names of the main characters in Inception are a hidden message in themselves. If you take the first letters of the main team members' names, Dom, Robert, Eames, Ariadne, Mal, and Saito, they spell out the word dreams. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a subtle Easter egg placed there for eagle-eyed fans. But the depth doesn't stop there. The name Ariadne is a direct reference to Greek mythology. In the myth of the Minotaur, Ariadne is the one who helps Theseus navigate a complex labyrinth by giving him a ball of red thread. In the movie, her character serves the exact same purpose. She is the architect who builds the labyrinth of the dream and helps Cobb navigate his way through his own treacherous subconscious without getting lost. Number 13. Hans Zimmer's mathematical music. The haunting, heavy bram sound that defines the Inception soundtrack has a secret mathematical connection to the plot. The kick song used in the film is Edith Piaf's Non, Je ne regrette rien. Because time moves slower in dreams, Hans Zimmer took the opening notes of that very song and slowed them down significantly to create the film's main theme. This mirrors the logic of the movie. What sounds like a fast song in the real world becomes a slow, heavy, operatic drone in the deeper layers of the dream. This means the soundtrack itself is actually time-dilated. When the characters hear the music as a warning in the dream, they are literally hearing the song from the level above, stretched out by the physics of their subconscious. It is a brilliant example of how sound design can reinforce a film's complex internal logic. Number 12. The massive water tank explosion.
From the human mind can build cities.
In the first dream level, when Cobb is explaining the concept of dreaming to Ariadne in a Parisian cafe, the surroundings suddenly explode in a slow-motion shower of debris. To keep this realistic, Nolan used a series of high-pressure nitrogen cannons. They didn't use real explosives because they wanted the actors to be right in the middle of the action without getting hurt. The debris was actually made of lightweight materials like paper and foam, but it was shot at a staggering 1,500 frames per second using high-speed cameras. This allowed the explosion to look incredibly sharp and detailed when slowed down. By using real physical objects instead of digital particles, the scene maintains a sense of weight and texture. You can see every individual coffee cup and piece of bread suspended in the air, creating a dreamlike atmosphere that feels terrifyingly real. Number 11. The Penrose Stairs and Paradoxes.
In a dream, you can cheat architecture into impossible shapes. That lets you create closed loops, like the Penrose.
The scene where Arthur explains the Penrose Stairs, an infinite staircase that always goes up but leads back to the start, is a tribute to the artist M.C. Escher. While you might assume this was a digital trick, the production team actually built a physical version of the impossible staircase. To achieve the illusion, they used a specific camera angle and a very precise, forced perspective construction. From one specific point in the room, the stairs appeared to connect perfectly in a loop, even though they were actually separate platforms at different heights. This dedication to practical geometry matches the film's theme of architecture. By building the paradox for real, the actors could actually interact with the space, making the impossible physics of the dream world feel grounded in a tangible, physical reality that the audience can almost touch. Here are the next 5 mind-blowing facts, continuing the countdown from 10 to 6. Each section maintains the realistic tone and focuses on the incredible technical details behind the film's production. Number 10. The real-world physics of the freight train. One of the most jarring moments in the film is when a massive freight train barrels through the middle of a crowded city street during a rainstorm. While most modern films would have animated this entire sequence, Christopher Nolan decided to build a train for real. The production team constructed a fiberglass shell of a train and mounted it onto the chassis of a semi-truck. This allowed the train to actually drive through the streets of Los Angeles, smashing into real cars and creating authentic physical impacts. This decision was crucial for the actors' performances. The sheer noise and vibration of a multi-ton vehicle driving inches away from them created a sense of genuine danger. By using a physical vehicle, the way the rain splashes off the metal and the way the cars crumple under the weight feels heavy and realistic, grounding the dream logic in a terrifying physical truth. Number 9. Cillian Murphy's hidden emotional layer.
Strange weather, isn't it?
Cillian Murphy plays Robert Fisher, the target of the Inception, and his performance is anchored by a secret detail regarding his character's vulnerability. Nolan wanted Fisher to feel like a real person caught in a corporate trap, so he instructed Murphy to play the character as if he were in a different genre, a family drama. The secret to his realism is his physical exhaustion. Murphy often looked tired and emotionally drained on set. This was intentional to show the burden of living under the shadow of a powerful father. Furthermore, the safe at the end of the movie contains a simple paper windmill from his childhood. This choice was a realistic psychological touch, showing that the most effective Inception isn't about money or power, but about healing a fundamental childhood wound. It's this emotional realism that makes the high-concept sci-fi plot feel deeply personal and relatable to the audience. Number 8. The authentic mountain fortress. For the final dream level, the team travels to a snowy mountain fortress. Rather than using a green screen or a snowy set in a studio, Nolan took the entire cast and crew to the mountains of Calgary, Alberta. The fortress was a massive set built on top of a real mountain, and the actors had to deal with genuine sub-zero temperatures and blizzards. This physical environment forced the actors to react realistically to the cold. Their breath is real, their shivering is real, and their struggle through the deep snow is unscripted. This level of dedication to location filming ensured that the third level of the dream felt distinct and harsh. It added a layer of survival realism to the heist, making the stakes feel much higher as the characters battled both the projections of the mind and the brutal elements of nature. Number 7. The symbolism of the totems.
No one else knows.
Like a coin?
No, it needs to be more unique than that. This is a loaded die.
The concept of a totem is central to the film's logic, but the secret lies in how they were treated as real, personal items by the cast. Each actor was given a totem that had a specific heaviness or balance that only they knew. For example, Arthur's weighted die was specially manufactured to feel different than a standard one. The realism here is that the actors didn't just treat them as movie props, they kept them in their pockets throughout the shoot to build a psychological connection to the objects. This mirrors real-world grounding techniques used by people dealing with anxiety or dissociation. By making the totems tangible and unique, Nolan ensured that when a character checks their totem, the audience feels the weight of their doubt. It turns a philosophical question about reality into a physical struggle that the viewer can perceive through the actor's subtle movements. Number 6. The length of the movie and Je ne regrette rien. There is a fascinating mathematical secret hidden in the film's total runtime. The song Je ne regrette rien, which is used as the kick to wake the dreamers, is exactly 2 minutes and 28 seconds long. Interestingly, the total runtime of Inception is precisely 2 hours and 28 minutes. This was a deliberate choice by Nolan to create a macro version of the dream time dilation. It suggests that the entire movie itself is a kick or a dream experience for the audience. This level of meta detail shows the realistic planning that goes into a Nolan production. Every element, from the soundtrack to the very length of the film, is designed to serve the internal logic of the story. It turns the viewing experience into a synchronized event where the audience is moving through time at the exact pace dictated by the film's central musical motif. Here are the final 5 mind-blowing facts, concluding our countdown from 5 to 1. These points focus on the incredible engineering and the deep psychological layers that make the film's ending so realistic and debated. Number 5. The floating zero-G practical effects. In the second dream level, the hotel elevator scene where Arthur bundles the sleeping team members together required a unique solution for simulating zero gravity. To keep the movement realistic, the actors weren't just hanging on wires against a green screen. The production team built a vertical version of the elevator shaft. The actors were then suspended on complex wire rigs that allowed them to float in a way that mimicked the lack of buoyancy in space. To make their bodies look truly weightless, the actors had to undergo core strength training to keep their limbs from dropping due to Earth's actual gravity. This physical effort is why their movements look so slow and effortless on screen. By forcing the actors to physically battle gravity in a vertical set, Nolan captured the genuine drift of a body in freefall, making the dream's physics feel tangible and consistent. Number 4. The Limbo City architecture. The crumbling city in Limbo, where Cobb and Mal spent 50 years, was inspired by real-world architectural decay and modernism. The secret to its realism is that the design was based on brutalist architecture, a style known for its heavy, raw concrete structures. Nolan and his team looked at coastal cities that had suffered from erosion to understand how buildings would realistically melt into the sea over decades. Instead of creating a fantasy world, they built a city that looked like a decaying version of 1960s urban planning. This choice grounded the dream world in a recognizable human history. By using real architectural principles of weathering, the VFX team created a limbo that felt lived in and ancient. It wasn't just a digital background, it was a physical representation of Mal and Cobb's shared life, making their emotional attachment to this fake world feel grounded and tragic. Number 3. The real-life architects of Inception.
And perceive our world simultaneously, and our mind does this so well that we don't even know what's happening. That allows...
Christopher Nolan often uses his films to mirror the process of filmmaking itself, and the secret roles of the characters confirm this. In a realistic meta-analysis, the team members represent the actual crew of a movie production. Cobb is the director, the one with the vision. Arthur is the producer, who handles the logistics and makes it happen. Ariadne is the production designer, who builds the world. Ames is the actor, who changes his appearance to fit a role. And Saito is the studio executive. Even Robert Fisher represents the audience, the one who is being incepted with an idea. By basing the character dynamics on a real-world professional hierarchy, Nolan ensured the team's chemistry felt authentic. Their work talk and professional friction weren't just sci-fi dialogue. They were reflections of the real pressures and roles found on a high-stakes film set. Number 2. The Spinning Top's Final Secret. The ending of Inception is one of the most debated in cinema history, but the secret to its realism lies in what Cobb doesn't do. Throughout the movie, Cobb is obsessed with his totem, the spinning top, because he is terrified of being in a dream. However, in the final scene, he spins the top and walks away to greet his children without waiting to see if it falls. The hidden detail here is that the top was never actually Cobb's totem. It was Mal's. In a realistic psychological shift, Cobb's true totem is his wedding ring. If you watch closely, Cobb is wearing his ring in every dream sequence, but is not wearing it in the real world. In the final scene, he is not wearing the ring. This subtle wardrobe choice provides a realistic physical answer to the film's ending, suggesting that Cobb has finally returned to reality, regardless of whether the top keeps spinning. Number 1. The kick synchronicity. The final fact involves the incredible logistical realism of the 4-level kick. To make the ending work, the film had to track 4 different timelines moving at 4 different speeds simultaneously. In the real world, a few seconds of a van falling off a bridge translates to minutes in the hotel, hours in the hospital, and decades in limbo. To keep this realistic for the audience, Nolan used a technique called cross-cutting that was timed to a mathematical rhythm. The secret is that the beats of the action in each level are synchronized so that the climax of each dream happens in the exact same emotional second for the viewer. This wasn't just clever editing, it was a feat of mathematical screenwriting. By aligning the physics of time dilation with the pacing of the music and the editing, Nolan created a realistic sensory experience of time moving at different speeds, leaving the audience breathless. Inception remains a landmark in filmmaking because it dared to treat the impossible as something physical and technical. From building rotating hallways to synchronizing the soundtrack with the very heartbeat of the plot, Christopher Nolan proved that the most powerful dreams are the ones that feel real. Whether the top is still spinning or not doesn't change the fact that we were all part of the heist. Which of these layers blew your mind the most? Do you believe Cobb made it back to reality, or is he still lost in the architecture of his own mind? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the subconscious, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and try not to get lost in the dream.